Packing in a backpack for 5 days with winter clothes? Yes, it can be done. If we haven't met before, my name is Misty and you are watching Misty on the Move. This is George, and along with my son Jackson, we have been to 48 out of the 50 states, plus Canada, Mexico, and the Bahamas. All of these were budget trips. Flying economy can be tricky, especially when it comes to bags.
This is pretty cool. It's a pickup zone for people with no baggage. Just carry on.
In this video, I am going to show you how we packed for 5 days to go to Maine in 2 backpacks. Yes, and we did not wear the same clothes over and over again. If you wouldn't mind, take a minute to like and subscribe. We've left this year already 7 times. This is a trip to New Jersey where I show you all the clothes and things that we had with us. And we're back now, and I need to catch up on some laundry, so I'm going to show you how I sort these things and how we try to stay organized in between our trips. And I'm going to show you a couple of packing tips. So I mentioned that we had been gone 7 times already this year, and it's 2022. So we started our year off in Biloxi, Mississippi for Christmas and New Year's. January 8th through the 11th, George and I were with his family in New Jersey. Then Jackson and I took a trip to Disney World on Martin Luther King weekend. Then we took 2 weeks to celebrate our own hometown and do everything in New Orleans that you can do for Mardi Gras. That was in February. In March, the 6th through the 11th, Maine. In April, we headed to Tampa for a few days. In May, we made 2 trips back to the Northeast, one for 4 days in Philadelphia and one for 5 days in New Jersey. And so far this year in the Northeast, it has been chilly every single trip that we've taken. And believe me when I tell you that is a welcome change from our weather that we have had starting from the beginning of the year. In January of 2022, we were in shorts and swimsuits in Biloxi, Mississippi, and in New Orleans in the summertime. It is hot, even in the winter most of the time. All right, enough about where we've been so far this year and about how hot or cold it is at our destinations. One of the things that can really get away from you when you're traveling is the amount of laundry that you bring back with you, and just being gone, the amount of work that you have to catch up on when you get back home. And so here in Louisiana, I don't know where you're from, but traditionally, old school tradition is that you make a pot of red beans and rice on Monday so that you can do all of your laundry. And so while red beans and rice is not a normal thing on our menu here at this household, I do like to make a Taco Tuesday dinner, and so I do the laundry on Tuesdays. So I take a bunch of chicken breasts and put them in my crock pot and let them shred down all day long. And so I know it looks like it's going to take a long time to wash and fold and dry all of this laundry, but it really only takes me about 2.5 to 3 hours because I have this system down where I wash, dry, and lay the clothes out flat at the end of my bed on a piece of furniture that I have down there. And then I sort the clothes, and then I fold, of course, the biggest things first and get them out of the way. The towels always go first. And because I'm packing this week, I also am going to sort the laundry into piles of things that we are going to be bringing with us on our trip. So it gets kind of boring, and our outfits on our trip are not always like what we would wear or what we would want to wear, but I have learned what fits in our bags the best and what we use the most. And I did make a video on a trip that Jackson and I took to Disney World on the things that we didn't use that I ended up taking out of my backpack, and it was quite a lot. So once you start packing small and you really figure out what you need and what you don't need, then you can kind of make the adjustments. And so I'm going to pack George first because he's really the easiest one to pack. He just needs 2 pairs of jeans, a pair of pajama pants, 4 pairs of socks, and then I usually pack him 2 t-shirts, 2 long sleeve shirts, and a nice sweater and a nice sweatshirt, and then the jackets that are hanging on my door over there are the ones that he's going to take with us. I usually either pack myself either all like browns earth colors and maybe like a little splash of color, or I will pack mostly like black and gray. And that's because I have some difficulty with my feet and I need to take at least 2 to 3 pairs of shoes so I can change shoes every day, if not twice a day. And so on this trip, because it is very cold, and a few of the pieces that I take with me on almost every trip, like those little gloves and that heavier scarf and my heavier boots, are gonna all be black. And so we have a couple of functions that we have to go to and we do have to get dressed up for. So I've got to figure out what top I'm gonna bring, or if I'm gonna try to bring a dress that goes with the jackets and things that we already have. So I'm gonna kind of go through these a few at a time and see which one's more practical, and if I did need to wear one more than once, which one would be the least likely to show anything if I got something on it, and then which ones are the most comfortable too. So whenever you're going to travel to anywhere in the Northeast or anywhere that's cold, I'm kind of at that point in my life where I get hot really easy too. So you're dressing for outside, but I know that the majority of the time that we're going to be there, we're going to be on the inside. And so I'm going to choose to bring some thinner long sleeve shirts, and I am going to bring a dress and a pair of tights that I can wear to the function that we're going to bring, instead of just continuing to wear pants. And I know this seems silly, but I'm actually going to bring 2 pair of black boots. One are a little bit warmer for trudging around outside, and the other ones are a little bit higher knee boots. And the thing that I do with my shoes is I always put my shoes in first. Oops, I left some stuff in here from the last trip. I normally empty our bags out completely and then wipe the bottom of the bag down so I can repack it, but I've only been home for 2 days and we're leaving again. So this is kind of happening all at once. Oh, here's a tip that I do too. I always try to watch videos on where we're headed. So we're headed to Maine. So I'm watching other YouTube videos on what to do when you're in Portland, Maine. I'm just trying to figure it out because we are only there for a couple of days. Maybe a few things that we wouldn't want to miss that someone else has covered. So here's another tip. I want you to take your socks and roll them up and shove them into any of the shoes that you're bringing with you, and this is going to help to take up less space. And so I'm going to do that in both of my boots. I'm going to put all the socks that I need, except for the ones that I'm wearing, of course, onto the plane in my other shoes. And then I keep these grocery bags for many different reasons. One, I just hate throwing them in the trash. And 2, I found that the best thing to do with all of my shoes is even though I've wiped them with Clorox Clean Wipes, you want to wrap both shoes individually and put them into a grocery bag. And then the heaviest things, or your shoes that you're not going to wear tonight or tomorrow morning when you get to your destination, you want to put those on the very, very bottom. They're going to be the base. Then anytime I'm taking anything white with me, I always put it in a Ziploc bag, and then I fill the Ziploc bag up with other things too. That's just in case something breaks in the overhead compartment. I don't want it to ruin my white pants. And then I'm just going to layer in the bigger sweaters, and then anything that I can roll and make smaller, I'm going to tuck in on the sides. So I'm just layering those heavier shirts. They actually take up more room rolled than they do folded in flats. Okay, so I have 5 or 6 shirts in there and a dress. All of my underwear and socks are between that Ziploc bag and inside my boots. And so I'm going to pack George's bag. And same thing, I'm going to put the 2 sweatshirts at the bottom, roll his jeans up. It's a men's sweater and a men's sweatshirt. And then the 3 long sleeve shirts that I'm bringing for him, I am rolling. And there's his pajamas on top. And then that is in my bag is the dress and the fur vest. And then here's our pieces that we're gonna wear on the plane and that we need to have handy, our coats for when we get off of the plane, because it will be very cold when we arrive. You haven't taken the time to like and subscribe yet? Well, what are you waiting for? Hey, make sure to check out the rest of our videos. Here's some photos of the trip and the clothes that we ended up wearing on that trip. I really want to take the time to say thank you to everyone who has been watching and following our videos, and so we have more to come. We're in.
Sir, thank you so much for having us.
Salute.
My pleasure.
Oh, you got the video going, huh, baby?
Yes.
All right, cheers.
All right, I'll take a picture too.